Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Hey guys, it's Bling Bling. Welcome back. Here's an event that took place today on the anniversary of the Columbus module. And interesting enough, the gentleman asking the question says some shocking things. Check it out.
Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston, this is Station. We are ready for the event.
When we signed the intergovernmental agreement in '98, I think in 2008 it was the intention to operate the space station for 10 years. So actually in this year or even earlier, the lifetime should have expired of the space station. But now we are celebrating 10 years Columbus and ATV. And as I mentioned already, in November this year, 20 years of Saria. What is the technical shape and operational shape of the International Space Station? Are you content, and do you expect that it can live much longer than originally expected?
Of course, the space station is always going to be there. It doesn't matter if it's 20 years or 100 years. As long as the government keeps pumping money into NASA, the propaganda machine will carry on.
Yeah, like you mentioned, we have well surpassed all of the expectations in terms of the lifespan of the International Space Station. And it's amazing in how great of a condition the space station is. I was here 5 years ago, and I come back now, and things are even better. We're improving the space station, so it's not in a state of degradation.
It's a really harsh environment out there, and the outside of the space station gets beat up pretty good.
And maybe another question. There is a lot of space debris around the world in low Earth orbit and in other orbits. How frequently do you have impacts or escape maneuvers from such perturbations?
Why does Mark need help answering this question? He's an astronaut. He spent years training for this. He should have all the answers.
That's a great question. I know the space station is certainly designed with that environment in mind, and there are places outside the space station that have sharp edges because they have been struck by items. But again, the space station was designed very well and was designed to resist those, so we haven't had a puncture in the pressurized shell. As far as, because we do have the ability to track larger objects, when we know that there's a range that those objects will pass within range of the space station, there's decision making whether or not to change the space station's orbit, and I think that happens about those debris avoidance maneuvers 2 or 3 times a year, but I really can't say with any certainty about how often that happens.
Once again, Mark can't say with any certainty how often these things happen. Where's the training? Where's the knowledge? Why does he always look to the other guy for the answers? He's supposed to be an astronaut. I don't care if he's new at this. He took this for years. And he seems so clueless, and he seems to want to distract with doing backflips.
Yeah, so things do float around. We have a larger particle here that you can see.
Thank you very much, Mark, for your looping. It is very helpful because my grandchildren, they always say they are not really in space. It's all organized in NASA Hollywood. It is very helpful because my grandchildren, they always say they are not really in space. It's all organized in NASA Hollywood. So the proof is done.
Oh my goodness, that's my dream to say something like that in an event. And I believe this man may be an employee of the European Space Agency, and his own grandchildren don't believe it. What does that tell you? And the fact that they don't make a comment back. He just goes upside down to say, look at us, we're floating in space, so that means it's real. You would think that was an opportunity to prove in some other way that they are really there, but they don't. They just ignore the comment and carry on.
10 astronauts in our room. Are there questions from your side on your colleagues in orbit?
I think you were asking if we have any questions for the audience there, so maybe you can answer for someone. What expectations do you have of the space program, and where do you see us being in the next 5 to 20 years?
I'm not sure whether I'm the right one to answer. There are more qualified to answer this question, but I tell you about my dream. I think the decisions which we are still celebrating the results of have been taken in '95, so it's 22 years ago. So I would dream in my young age of 78 years, I would dream of a worldwide exploration program following exploration of low Earth orbit in the future, because I think it's a need to do something also in improving technologies and equipments and so on, and then to go back to Moon and later on to start exploiting our planetary system.
The grandchildren comment was shocking enough, but it seems like this gentleman uses his lack of English skills as a crutch. To say the word exploiting instead of exploring, is it subliminal? Is he really telling his true feelings because he knows that this is just an exploitation? Very curious. What do you think?
To start exploiting our planetary system, be it
Putain.